I'm trying to make it quick, man. I'm trying to make it quick. That shit on? That shit on. All right, say less. What's your name, man?
My name is Will.
Nice to meet you, Will.
Nice to meet you.
All right, bro. So pretty much a quick rundown over here. I'm Ollie, by the way. Yeah, so the quick rundown real here is this is the For Young American Men podcast. So I'm talking to people from different walks of life about career and politics a little bit. You cool with that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So first, career, man. What you doing out here in D.C.? Do you live in D.C.?
Yeah, I live in D.C. I'm an economic consultant.
Economic consultant. Okay, consultant seems to be the biggest thing around here. At least that's the thing I've heard the most. It's been consultant and what was the other thing? Lawyer. Oh yeah, lawyer too is the biggest thing. Okay, so economic consultant. So what does that kind of entail? Or like, what can you tell a little bit about like the work you do or what that looks like?
Yeah, basically we get hired by law firms on behalf of companies, and we deliver an expert report, which is like an economics PhD, who is like retained on behalf of some company to deliver like super expert kind of testifying, experience in court.
Sure. Okay.
And we help with that. So it's like data and stuff.
I see. So especially at least when it comes to like the economic side of it. So for these law firms, like what are the kind of like economics that you're looking at when you do work with them, for example?
It's a lot of like damages, like figuring out like how much did a company, fuck up in like this way, or like.
Is this only civil cases then?
It's all over. It's like healthcare, mergers, intellectual property, like, a bunch of different areas that like multiple different companies specialize in like different areas,
Word.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so at least being in this, how long have you been doing this work?
I just graduated. It's 2 months.
Oh, you just started getting in the game.
Yeah, I'm in the game.
Okay, cool. So at least since you're just starting out, what are maybe some interesting lessons you have learned? At least I know it's just early in the game. It's early in the game.
Yeah, I don't know that much, but one thing is like you have to really try to enjoy what you're doing. I think that I've had previous experiences where maybe like I thought the work was like a little boring, or maybe some of the people I work with weren't like boring, but like in
the numbers, dealing with the numbers and stuff.
Yeah, but in doing that, I think you count the experience out, and I think people can feel that off of you if you don't really like try to make the most out of it. So at the end of the day, it's like if you're there somewhere, you have to make the most of it, and I think people really read that off of you, like if you like what you're doing, if you like the people you're around, and I think a lot of people are like open books, Sure. It's hard to hide that.
So then actually last question I kind of want to ask around it then. So like at least from like day-to-day work kind of thing. So would you say when you're working with others, is it just you guys kind of going over data, or like what does that kind of look like? Because just for them, I want them to be able to hear just in case they get into it.
Yeah, I actually find it pretty stimulating. Like I'm across like multiple like coding languages. I code a little bit in SQL, a little bit in Excel, a little bit in Tableau. I hope to get into Python, but it's a lot of like analytics stuff.
So like you're using code to track economic data is that correct?
Right. Yeah, it's like loading in data, so you're pulling data from like a company to like figure out where they screwed up, or where they need help, or like where you need to recreate like their business in like a certain area.
Or at least the financial side of it,
like the forensic side of it, Okay. There's like some part of it is like discovering something that another person did wrong, or like, claims, or sometimes it's like there's like divorce cases, like you have to figure out like how much someone's
how much is going so then you got to decide, okay, this is how you're going to divide up the money kind of here and here.
Yeah, indeed. So it's far and wide, like kind of like that area, but so it's like it's about like getting data, importing it in like a good way, and then
is that how the coding aspect gets in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like this pipeline of like loading data, analyzing it, and then like producing like a full like argument, at the end.
And like, all right, bro, you going broke, nigga, it's over. Like basically in like a case, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, smooth. Okay, so shifting a little bit of politics here, if that's cool. So
I don't know. I don't know that much. we can sure.
No, I mean, even if you don't know much, at least based off what you do know. How do you feel about the current administration? The Trump administration obviously is here. Been here for at least, we're getting honestly on a year now. This year's going by fucking fast, but are you a fan, not a fan? Like, how do you feel about it? Like it, don't like it?
I think it's crazy. Like, I see stuff on the news every single day. I think this is a crazy, like, first administration to, like, be educated under. Like, I saw Trump when I was, like, first, like, getting into high school.
Yeah, I was a sophomore when he actually got elected.
Yeah, and now to see everything that he's doing right now is pretty absurd. It's hard to keep track of everything. It's like this guy stays awake for like 20 hours a day.
Yeah,
and everything. But but yeah, I disapprove of a lot of things.
Main thing you
Yeah.
disapprove of? We discuss maybe a little bit. I'll try not to, because I'm kind of holding you for a little while.
Yeah, I think he's like turning the government into his like personal business a little bit, like apart from all of like the social side of things, like sending ice and like scooping up like hardworking like immigrants, and like I don't know, just kind of like harassing a lot of people. I think is not good, and he's just playing a lot of bully ball, and like treating the government like it's his like company, and kind of just using that force to just get his way and suing everyone and just really using like the full power, like everything under his arsenal to try to bully everyone out of everything. And like
wouldn't you want that from a president? Not necessarily that like I'm a full on like Trump fan, but like wouldn't you want that from a president though?
It's good to be strong and firm. I think a good counterexample of like a strong leader and even like a billionaire that has like a little more morals, but like someone that you can look up to is like someone like Mark Cuban or something like that.
Mark Cuban. Yeah.
I think
is he the one that he's the one that owns I'm pretty sure it's Mavericks, correct?
Yeah. He's the owner of the Mavericks. He's on like Shark Tank and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. Okay, yeah.
I think he's someone that's like a billionaire, but he's not like a bully. He's very, I think, like still like grounded to some extent.
I feel like when you, at least based off what I've seen, and we can actually even wrap up a little bit here. At least based off what I've seen, like if you make a lot of money, because even him getting in, he was already a businessman before he kind of got into politics. But the thing is like when you get into politics, it kind of becomes a power game. You know what I'm saying? Like because like and people are gonna like want you to do things. At least in regards to ICE, the way I kind of see the situation, at least based off what I've seen, I've had a couple discussions out here already kind of about it. But based off what I've seen, it's like, well, if people wanted illegals to get deported, correct? Like that's kind of what people voted for. That's what people wanted, at least from the right side. That's what people voted for. Like a big issue that I've seen a lot of people out here kind of have with it. It's like, oh my God, it's really rough. It's very forceful. People are kind of getting bullied. But I'm like, well, the issue with like, if you're trying to remove people who are here illegally, it's not like they willingly kind of want to go. And I just want to pick your brain about this and then we can end off. But like, they're not going to like want to leave. Like if I'm an illegal immigrant here and I've been here for a while, maybe a year or whatever, I came during the Biden administration, like I'm not going to willingly give it up. I'm not really going to want to leave. So I'm going to get chased. Right? And naturally, if I also have people here where citizens are like, no, I don't want you to like allow them to leave. Let's say you have a family member who's legally, they're illegal. You're going to kind of do what it takes to kind of stop them from leaving. So I kind of see that situation where it looks a lot worse than it is because people are preventing it from happening. Does that kind of make sense? Or how do you feel about that?
I even saw something where they're like the administration was giving incentives for like illegal immigrants to leave, like $1,000 and like a flight back home or something like that.
Yeah, there's actually been about 1 million, honestly, self-deportations. The minute they found out like the Trump came in, they're like, oh man, it's cooked. They're gonna find me out. They kind of left like that, but
that's a crazy kind of like catch-22 or like a game theory situation, like. But yeah, I'm not too well versed on like the immigration stuff, No problem. It's just. I just
it looks wild from the news perspective though. So that's even good to like hear like from someone who's like maybe not engaged to it. You kind of like see like it's not like it just looks crazy from the outside looking in.
Right. Yeah. And it's just a close line, in a lot of areas, especially like with this new bill and like why the shutdown is happening. A lot of it is because of these healthcare subsidies, Well, yeah. And it's like lopsiding, like taking the money away from healthcare and like Medicare, I believe, for like a lot of people, and
for like EBT's, SNAP as well, healthcare. It's because, well, I mean, I could go into it, but like I'll let you continue.
Do you have thoughts on that? I would love to get, like.
Oh, you want to hear about that too? Yeah. Okay, so basically, the kind of issue with this is like what is happening is that it was based off the Affordable Care Act, like you were talking about, like healthcare and stuff like that. So basically, the Democrats are like, well, it's like basically they're both playing a political power game. The Democrats want to make sure that illegals and other people kind of here ensure that they're still able to kind of get health care. So they don't want to sign a bill where, okay, this is what the funding is going to look like, and then Trump takes away funding from this. So then illegals can't get that health care if they need it, right?
Just for illegal immigration? Is that like the pivot point?
Well, it's not just kind of just them. Well, because of the shutdown, there is like no funding for stuff because there's a shutdown. So the issue with the health thing is that like other people who aren't on other types of welfare programs and other healthcare kind of stuff, they don't have money or funding to get their like kind of certain stuff done. For example, like if you're on SNAP or you take EBT, right, or you have food stamps, like in about a month or so, like they're not going to be able to like get on food stamps anymore, not going to have EBT anymore because there's no funding for it because of the shutdown. So like, but the issue is because like Democrats are not getting their demands met, and obviously Trump is not really willing to be in a position to negotiate. He's kind of focusing more on immigration and other kind of stuff right now. Like it looks like we're even about to go to war with Venezuela right now. So like, there's
I don't know
what
that's about.
But that's kind of what. Yeah.
One of the things in healthcare is that these healthcare companies, which I work for, they're really shady and very, very good at covering up, and they're gonna those expenses are gonna keep going up and up and up, and we already pay like double, triple, quadruple the healthcare like anyone in like Europe pays. You know, in Canada it's like completely free, and I know someone has to pay for those costs.
And it's really expensive. And actually, what I would even say to tell you about the insurance thing too, like the thing is, when you also have people who are here illegally and you're giving them health care, what ends up happening is the rates increase because it's like, well, this guy just got in an accident or had an injury. It costs $2,000. So the next person that's coming for healthcare, we kind of have to cover that cost. So we're going to increase it. So that's at least a part of it, but it's not the only part, but that's one of the big parts too.
I've seen these margins of these companies, and sometimes it's completely, it's not that at all. I think it's more arbitrary. It's just like,
oh no, true. I'm not, even me when it comes to like insurance, like I would say at least from, I guess, a left-leaning kind of perspective, like I can like see how like the insurance system is very kind of like pernicious is what I'll say.
It's very predatory. No, it is. They're always going to come out on top. They arbitrarily, they control.
They be paying people. They're paying people to make sure that you don't get your insurance.
The industry main players is extremely concentrated into like these couple like companies.
Sure.
You know, and those couple of companies own like are very vertically integrated.
Yeah.
So like they will have power to negotiate whatever they want with like certain players is what I'm learning, and that creates a very, you know, that hurts the consumer at the end of the day.
No, true.
And that's a lot of like what I work with specifically. So I've been learning a lot about that.
You've been seeing. Okay, no, that's actually really cool. I'm actually happy to hear that.
Right, and it's
or to know that, not like happy that it's bad, but like happy to know it at least. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, I don't know. I think the last thing we need is like, you know, our premiums to double. Like, you know, I think the average person that's lucky enough to be insured through like an employer, like has the money to pay the out of pocket.
Sure.
You just do not want to see that going. Like the affordability of life is just like, I think the wealth inequality is at an all-time high since like the 1920s right now.
That's been increasing.
And a part of that is like these increasing fees, you know, that are just really like hidden. And part of that is because the administration facilitates, you know, the economy to go buck wild, to get more concentrated, you know, to go free. And when that happens, you know, they'll just try to make as much money as possible. If you don't have the government kind of playing referee a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, at least based off what I've seen, at least in terms of like even just like fund kind of allocation, it's like it's like in some ways there's like more when, especially, and this is why like when it comes to economy stuff, like when I look at different kind of presidents, I'm always like, like sometimes you're inheriting problems from a previous administration. It's hard, like the way that money flows, even just from a regular business standpoint, like it's really hard to predict behavior or how things are going to kind of turn out. Like somebody could be doing something or could be funding this or be putting money here, and it'll be like 2-3 years before you really see the result of it. And like if a new administration comes in, whether it's Democrat or Republican or whatever, like it's like hard to like inherit it. It's like hard to basically inherit an economy and to be able to instantly fix it unless you do something like really, really ridiculous. I mean, at least that's why Trump was messing around a lot with the tariffs recently, which is like, it could be good, could be bad. It's still like yet to kind of be seen, but at least that's what I see from at least the economic side. But anyway, I'll let you have the last words here because it's been a good conversation though, so I appreciate it.
So what is this podcast like about?
Okay, so it's for young American men. So basically, we're talking like career, politics. Yeah. So that's pretty much why we just had that conversation, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I appreciate the time. I think you're doing a great thing here. I like the setup on the street, and I hope you find more people to talk about.
All right, cool. Thank you. What was your name again, too, bro?
Will.
Thank you so much, Will, man. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen. There you go. Alrighty. What's your name, man?
Fella.
Fella?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to meet you, fella. I'm Ali. Yeah. So as I said, you know, we're going to be talking about career and politics. This is the For Young American Men podcast. So I'm talking to people from different walks of life, hearing about careers, politics, you know, so guys can pretty much learn from it. That cool?
Sure.
I bet. Okay. So first thing I want to ask, you live in D.C., man?
No, I live in Maryland.
Okay. Where in Maryland do you live, by the way, if you don't mind me saying?
I live in Howard County.
Howard County? Okay. Is that, how far is that, like, from D.C.? Is that, what's that, 30 minutes, 40 minutes drive?
Depends on what you If you take subway, maybe like an hour and a half.
Got you.
Yeah.
Word. I mean, I personally live in Silver Spring, so like so like I've been knowing the area. Like when people say Maryland, I'm like, I've been somewhere around there. I mean, Howard County, not really that much, but like Silver Spring. I've been around PG, obviously Moco, main place around there. So like, that's cool. Okay, so I used to live in Howard County. I'm guessing you work down here in DC or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. So what is the work that you do, man?
I work for a union.
So like, so what is the work that you do for the union?
Oh,
If you can say, of course.
Essentially, I'm a political director for a union. We do electoral stuff.
Okay, got you. So is that only just for like? So I would assume it's for like midterm elections and then the official election every single 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, cool. So, an actually interesting question I'll actually ask around this is like, okay, so if you can say, what does the process kind of look like for voting? Because you said like at least you're paying attention for electoral votes. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Also, how the hell are you staying out here with just like the little thing?
Look, man, you got,
and I'm cold as hell.
You gotta understand one thing about me. I'm a real ass nigga.
Okay.
I do this shit. I do this shit. I don't give a fuck. I do this shit, bro. I love the game. I love the hustle. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. So electoral.
Yeah.
Can you tell me like kind of what that looks like? Because at least a lot of people would be curious about the voting process. Because I think a lot of people don't really like know what it looks like. They just see the votes on the screen.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I mean, it really does depend on what state you're going in. Like for us, we're working in the union, so we are partisan for the working class. So what that means is that you get people from all walks of life, who have to work for a living, who have to figure out like where their next meal is coming from, where their rent payment's coming from, how their house is coming from. So as far as like partisan politics, we're on those people's side. But there's also the part where we help them get to the polls. We make sure that they understand like what the larger reason why they're voting is apparent to them, and really communicate with them and make sure that they're able to get to the polls on election day and making sure that they're able to cast their vote.
Okay, so then question I have around it. So basically as a union, what you guys do is almost like you're a gateway to the polls. So you help people, you said working class, correct?
Yeah, working class people.
So like take me for example, let's say I'm working class individual. Yeah. So like how does that like work for me? So basically I'm a working class individual. Do I go directly to the poll and the union is there, or do I go to a union place? Like, how does that work?
No. So if you want to vote, you get a, depending on the state you live in, you might get a letter that lets you know which precinct you're going to.
Yes.
Or you might get some information either from a call or someone knocking on your door.
I've never voted before, as you can see.
Yeah. So to make that process real simple, what ends up happening is that on election night, your district, wherever you live, is broken out into a bunch of different precincts. Yes. So if you want to go and vote on election day, what you do is you go down to that precinct. You can look it up online, and stand in line. If you're not registered to vote, if you're in a good state, you'll be able to register while you're there. Yeah. But if you're in a state that requires that you register beforehand, you're going to have to send all your information in before that cutoff to make sure that you're able to go and vote.
Got you. Okay, that's super interesting. So I would ask, is there like a difference that you see between maybe midterm elections and then like the official election in terms of like how the voting process works, or is it exactly the same?
It's going to be exactly the same. It's just going to be way more people voting on presidentials.
Yeah, because you're going to be seeing lines of people kind of
lines all the way along. Like, I'm not going to lie. I think maybe, and don't hold me on this one.
Yeah, no problem.
The line of people I saw in Virginia 2024, I think I haven't seen that many people like lined up to go do something since the last time like me and my buddy went to go buy like his new Jordans back in like 20
new Jordan, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Like,
people don't be going to the store no more. So look, man, you were impressed with what you've seen. Did you have to do a lot of work that day too, I'm guessing?
I mean, yeah, it depends on like the day that you're going out to do work. So I know your rights when you're going out to go vote. Yeah. And a lot of times what that means is that, you have your right to privacy. You can't have anyone try and change your vote while you're past a certain point. Anyone who has to come up to you to give you like a piece of literature.
Yeah, they got to be checking who they are.
They got to make sure that they're past the point where there's usually a big lawn sign that says no electioneering past this point.
Like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the game. You like it?
You have a legal right to say, get the fuck away from me right now.
You got a legal right to shoot him too?
No.
Yeah, shoot him in the finger, blow that shit smooth back.
No. You can't go that. Hey, man, we can't say that no more. We can't say that much. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. Okay, that's actually super interesting because I've like, since I've never voted before, like actually hearing like kind of what the process is like, I've never really researched it. I'm like, I'll probably go vote in the next actual election, probably midterms. I'll probably vote too, just like get the first experience anyway. So that'll definitely be cool. So thank you for that. Okay, so shift to the politics a little bit if you want to talk about that, of course. How do you feel about the current administration? Trump administration, you're a fan, not a fan, things you maybe like, dislike at all? And we kind of, so I'll tell you my positions too if you want to.
So the main problem with the Trump administration is that, broadly speaking, you can say that politics is about who gets the money.
Agreed. I'd actually agree with that a lot.
And the issue with the Trump administration, no matter what he says, no matter what he does, he views it as a way to take money away from people who work for a living. Your teachers, your doctors, people who go into work every day hoping that they can, build a family for themselves, build a life for themselves. And he either puts it in his pocket or he puts it to whoever kisses up to him. And
one question. Okay, question actually. So when you say that he's like, at least based on what he says, and I'm not like some like super pro-Trump guy, like I have my criticism of him, and I also have things that I like. I'm pretty conservative, but I have things that I like and dislike kind of about him. So when you specifically even say like, hey, he takes, because especially since you work with the working class a lot, based off like the job you do, so I'm like, okay, you probably get a lot of experience with this. You're like, okay, he'll say different things to take money from people who are working class and give it to certain kind of other people. So what would you say is like a primary specific example of like that kind of happening? Because I do hear that a lot, like, he's taking it from here and there and whatever. But I'm like, when I start to really research it, it's like, no, he's just kind of like allocating the funds in kind of a different way because we maybe in previous administrations it's been overstepped how much funds have been allocated in a certain way. So enlighten me a little bit if you know.
Yeah, so I don't want to get like too deep into like what
true.
Because want to make it friendly for you. I don't want to put any of you.
No, say whatever you want. No, say whatever you want to say. But you can keep it simple.
Of course, I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. So essentially, the way that money works is that the government controls the money supply, right?
True.
The whole point of taxes is that the government has said, "Oh, we have printed too much money. We need to claw some of that money back from everyone before we can print more money."
Yeah. Because you don't want the inflation to go crazy. We're just printing money and like no values being created.
Yeah. It's a lot like that, right?
Yeah.
So when you get hey, how's it going, buddy?
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Where you going?
So when you look at, for example, where Trump has like made cuts to programs like LIHEAP or food stamps that are ending in a couple of weeks.
Would you say it's because of the shutdown, though?
So, the way that LIHEAP works is that it is a program that is administered by, I believe it is. Yo, you're really testing my knowledge here.
No, I got to put
that's administered by Housing and Human Services.
Sure.
And what they did initially was, even before the shutdown, they went to go see if they could just not give anyone that money. And when they were told that no, they legally had to give people that money, what they did instead was that they fired everyone who administered that program to make sure that that program wasn't administered by anyone. So you have an instance where the money has already gone out to the states. They already have some of the money left, but they can't get any assistance like the federal government in actually making sure that money goes to people.
And I would assume that's especially now because of the government shutdown as well. Like you can't even get any more. I mean, the people are fired anyway, as you said. So like the funds are not really going to get allocated. But at least what I would kind of do to like, I would say to like condense this a little bit. Yeah. At least a lot of times when I've seen, because you said working class individuals, right? Yeah. Especially that are kind of impacted. Well, based off what I've seen, or I would say of like, if you know, even from the big beautiful bill, I would say that even a lot of these acts or funds that have been allocated to people that aren't actually taking, like, they're not actually taking full advantage of it. It's almost to a point where you're giving money to people who are not working for the money that they're making. It's like you're getting the opportunity. And when you, because that's when you're like saying like working class, I'm like, okay, is he really taking money from people who are working and like doing a lot of work, or is he taking money away from people who are not working? Is what I'd ask.
So I would say the important thing to remember is that, again, it's about who has control of the money, right?
Sure.
You have the people who own resources. They own, like, your job sites. They own, like, if you work in a factory, they own all the machines.
Yeah.
Or you have the people
Building.
or you have the people who go there every day to work and make a living, right? Yeah. So there can be like a lot of distraction about like, are people working hard enough? Are they working enough days? But at the end of the day, like when you're taking like resources from the people who work for a living,
yes,
that's going to the people who own for a living, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's when I say that they're taking things away from like the working class, and you might say that, oh, they're not working hard enough.
Some people, like, no, that's because that's why I asked, like, when you say workers,
the argument, right?
Yeah.
So when they say they're not working hard enough, what really is happening is that it is taking, all the potential power, like spending power, away from people who work from a living and giving it to people who want to hoard that money for as long as possible to get a return on their investment.
Yeah.
Now,
and I would at least definitely agree with that from the standpoint of like, if people have donated you or put you in office, and like you said, and I think one thing we can agree on here, and even just wrapping it up, because I don't want to hold you too long kind of with this as well. Like, what I would say is when you have donors that have, put you into office, obviously that money's going to have strings attached. So like if I've donated a lot of money, I own this, and I've given you a lot of money to get there, I do expect you to give me kind of breaks. So I would definitely see like, okay, from like a working class standpoint, I would see how like funds would be taken away from that. Like that's how like from people who work, money would be taken away and like given to these kinds of people. One thing that I would kind of ask, and this kind of be the final thing I want you to go over here, is like, even when some of these people who are company owners, are business owners, they're given this kind of money. Yeah. What I would say, and I've seen, not in all situations, but I've seen before, like when you're a business owner and you do have a lot more money, you actually are able to create a lot more job opportunities for people who actually do want to work. Because the thing is, when you're a business owner, if you don't have like more money to spend, you don't want to hire more people, you don't want to expand, you don't want to almost create more opportunities. So in some ways I can kind of see like, okay, it's not always good to take from the working class and give to people who are richer, but sometimes it's not even a bad thing to give to people who are richer, because a lot of people are unemployed. Well, when you're unemployed, it's hard to find jobs. So when billionaires or people who make a lot of money have money, they have the opportunity to create more jobs for people. So at least, how do you feel about that? And then we can end off there.
Well, funny enough, my parents are actually business owners.
Okay, got you.
I think they have like 20-ish to 30-ish employees. Yeah. The issue isn't so much that they own a business, but it's like what I was talking about with the money supply thing earlier, right?
Sure.
So the issue is that how much of your salary do you say you probably spend every year, right? It may be like 30%, 50% or something like that.
Probably.
Right?
Probably.
So the issue we run into, and one of the reasons why it's becomes a problem to give like this class of people this much money.
Yeah, it's like it gets tight because of how much like your expenses. Yeah,
because
economics is always gets crazy.
So right, so maybe like me, like a normal person, we spend like 50% of our salary.
Sure.
But when you're talking about these massive industries, these people who have control over so much stuff and have control over so much money, what ends up happening is that maybe they spend 5% of their like the amount of money that they have.
And I would say they find ways to cut costs.
And they find ways to cut costs. So what ends up happening is that you get these places in the economy that money just sinks into and never comes out.
Sure. Especially if a donor has put you in the office.
Especially if a donor has put you in the office. Right, and that's the real danger, right? Because the danger is that like if you give money to people who maybe even like don't work that often, or they're out of work, they still spend that money, at stores. Places like this, small businesses, small of them, right?
Yeah, at least to some degree.
They put that money back into the economy and it still circulates around, right? But when you give money to people who maybe spend 5% of that, they maybe get loans and never introduce that money back to the economy. Yeah. What ends up happening is like, I'll use this example, right?
Mm-hmm. So there's mints in the bowl, guys.
There's mints in the bowl, right? So let's say, right, this is the money supply,
Sure.
right?
So the economic 101. This is how we do it, man, fam.
This is the money supply, right?
Sure.
So what ends up happening is that under normal circumstances, these all have a value of like one lifesaver is one lifesaver.
Sure.
So you want to pay me for my glasses.
Mhm.
So you give me 5 lifesavers.
Mhm.
I give you my glasses.
Yeah, I'm joining.
I want that water bottle. So
you can't have it. What you say, Nate?
I give you 2. You want something of mine, like this bowl. You
Yeah,
give me
Mike.
this much. And I give you
Yeah.
the bowl, right?
I bet.
And I have some.
Roger, clean this all up, Nick.
It's something like, money has changed. If someone else came in, I would give them some, and
If another donor,
I would buy and get you something like
maybe
that.
get a loan outside somewhere.
Yeah, exactly, right? So the issue is this is how money is supposed to flow in the economy, right?
Yes.
But what ends up happening?
Sometimes it gets bloated to one side.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a little bloated to one side, and that's when the government says we're going to take a couple of these lifesavers to make sure that the number of lifesavers in circulation stays relatively the same.
True.
Right? So the problem that ends up happening is that when you have people who are billionaires, what ends up happening is this, right? They will say, I want this bowl of yours. I'm not going to pay you these lifesavers. Instead, what I'm going to do is that I am going to use these lifesavers as collateral, put them here. You will give me this bowl. This bowl will make a couple of lifesavers over the course of
you're making long-term investments. Yes.
And instead of me paying you these lifesavers, I will keep these lifesavers. And at the end, when this bowl makes its investment back, I will take my lifesavers back.
Yeah.
You will have a couple shiny new lifesavers, and I will have this bowl. But you see what's happened here, right? All the lifesavers are
kind of sitting here, and then
I have maybe these 2 that have come out to pay all the workers, whatever. Mm-hmm. All the rest of the lifesavers are here. So you keep doing this, and now instead of the trade that we were having before, I have these 2. If someone wants to pay me, they have this one. But there's this huge pile of lifesavers here, which means that these ones that have now come out are just worth less.
Yeah.
Because there's so many on the table now.
Yeah. Okay. So what I would say to even kind of simplify a little bit.
That was a very long explanation.
Yeah, it was long, and it's all cool. So to simplify, kind of what I would say here, and I would say this is kind of an infinite battle that you're going to see.
Yeah.
Because the business owners or the billionaires are always going to want to have money to allocate to different things or potential investments that can lead to different kinds of breakthroughs and stuff like that. But at times they might sit on said money that could be used to stimulate maybe workers or whatever in the economy. Because for any government, I would kind of say, you want to have a very strong middle America. You want to have a very strong working man. If the working man isn't. You said what?
But do they believe that?
Well, maybe at times yes and no. It just kind of depends. That's what I'm saying. It's it's not always kind of bad intention, because the thing is, when you are a business owner, you want to develop. You want to try different things. You want to be able to invest in things. Obviously, to do that, you need money. Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit on money you have for the potential to be able to do that. So the thing is, yes, sometimes the working man does end up suffering for that reason. But then that's what I was saying on the back end of this. It's hey, if you give me this money, and this is what a lot of them will do, if you do give me this money, like I said before, it doesn't happen with all of them, but if you do give me this money, I can also create all these jobs for these different people. But then this when you get into issues, they're okay, well, I'm doing this, but I also want to be able to cut costs in ways, so I might hire people who are illegal, for example. And that becomes an issue, and that's a big problem that a lot of people have with billionaires and illegals anyway, because the billionaires will cut costs, and then Americans who are working Americans, they can't get those kind of jobs. And then now they're just so that's what I'm saying with the economics.
I see what you're saying, but
not that it's the whole issue, but
generally immigration. Okay, so you remember how I was talking about I don't really want this to turn into an economic.
Yeah, no, this is going to say no. Okay, we gotta stop out here, bro.
So it's essentially one of the things that's important to remember is that labor is not static, right?
True.
So you can say illegal immigrants, but at the same time, if you really wanted to,
it was one example.
One example. But if you wanted to bring down, raise the cost of labor, you can also just ban everyone who was born from 2005 to 2010 from working for 10 years, and that would raise the cost of labor as well.
Yeah. But would that really happen though? Like
Probably.
realistically.
Well, realistically, no.
Yeah, like
it's
that's
just,
why. It's an example.
It's an example. Well, actually, depending on like if you're a doctor, for example, they limit the amount of doctors who can become certified per year, right? So there's a limit. There's a limit, right? You can do the same thing for any career, right? So if you want to be welders, you could say like, instead of having a bunch of welders every year, if you want to go to welding school, there's only 10 spots in this state, and that's just how and you can make salaries go up that way, right? The thing with immigration is that
actually we'll stop here.
I'll stop there. Okay.
Yeah, because like it was long, but what I would say is, okay, from economic standpoint, I would say my opinion is kind of like push or pull in kind of ways. I don't think like when it comes to economics and politics, that's why I'm like, bro, like, and this is almost like not almost like you have to become an economist, but it is very difficult to know accurately, especially if you're the average American, to know like this move is going to do this is going to happen this way, because there's a lot of moving parts, and at least I would say we can agree on that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just wasted all my time in college reading books, which I really should have just gone out partying and drinking instead. That's what I'm doing out here now. Because, I missed out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Essentially, like, I just want to leave on like the notion that like you know, when it comes to like Trump, when it comes to all that, like Trump is a guy. He's 100 or something. I don't know.
71, I believe.
70. Close enough. But, like he's an old man. Like he dawdles a little bit. He drools on himself when he's in his meetings. It's not. I'm not gonna like sit here and impugn the elderly. You know, it's just a natural part of life. You get old, but Trump is just like one guy in a long system of people who have like vested interest in turning the economy into from something that works for people who, you know, go to work every day, they take care of their families, and and turn it into something that benefits people who want to realistically, like, suicidally, selfishly hoard as much money as they can to their own detriment. Like, the only way I can describe it is if you go to a buffet and you see someone who's already eaten himself into a stupor and he keeps eating until his stomach bursts, and he just keeps eating and eating and eating, right? Like, because at a certain point you have to think to yourself, like, we know when you have too little, but we can clearly see when someone has too much.
Yeah, I would just agree with that to varying degrees with some of them.
I'm just saying, man, you gotta know when to stop eating. Like, if you don't know when to stop eating, that all you can eat buffet is gonna kill you. I'm just saying.
Fair enough, bro.
I'm just saying.
Fair enough. What's your name again, bro?
Fella,
thank you so much, man. That was a long conversation, but I enjoyed that shit, bro. You ain't getting economics like this on the street, bro. We doing it here live. Thank you, bro. I got a drink too, man.
Yeah, I'm drink too. Down, though.
Yeah, nah, no problem, man. What's your name, man?
What you got for me? Will. Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you, Will. All right, so as you were asking, this is for young American men, and basically I'm talking to people from different walks of life, talking about career politics a little bit.
Sure.
Just so guys can learn from it. That cool?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
Absolutely, man.
All right, so first I want to ask, you live in D.C., man?
I do. DuPont Circle.
Cool. How long have you lived here in D.C.?
About 2 years.
All right, bet. So you already got like a good feel of the city and being around here. Do you enjoy the city? Do you like the city?
I do, yeah. I like it. I mean, I think there's good areas and bad areas, but I think that I lived in Logan Circle my first year, and now I'm in DuPont Circle now. I enjoy both. But I think if you're out further to the west of the city, or to the east, I meant, there's some areas that aren't great, but
you know, we niggas be shooting, bro.
I'm just saying.
Niggas be shooting, bro. Nah, I be saying, nah, we know, bro. That's why they Trump out there. You know what I'm saying? They come out here, bro. Yeah, bro. Like, y'all gotta go to get the fuck back, nigga. I ain't gonna say all that, but like, anyway. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, what is the current career you've been pursuing down here, man?
I do finance. I do investment banking.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So, you've been doing it for 2 years then, since you moved
here? About a year and a half. Yeah, year and a half. Close to 2 years, yeah.
Bad. Okay, so what are maybe some lessons that you've learned from being in investment banking? Or actually, first, give me a little bit of rundown of what that kind of looks like, so like they can understand.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, so it's long hours. I mean, it's every day's different. So like, it's not a typical 9 to 5 where you wake up at 9, you get off at 5. Like sometimes I'll wake up at 9 and I'll have nothing to do from 9 to 4, and then from 4 to 2 a.m. I'm working. Or it can be vice versa, where from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm working all day, and then I have a chill evening. It's really just it's one of those careers that for type A people that really have to have like a schedule and a plan. It's not for them.
Yeah.
For type
you got to be kind of like ready.
For type B people that are ready to kind of do whatever and kind of brush shit off their back, it's more for those type of people.
Word. Okay, so at least for investment banking, what I would ask is, are you just working with different specific banks, or are people coming to you that want to invest in banks?
So I do sell side M&A. So if a company, and I do aerospace, defense, and government work. So if a company in the aerospace and defense world wants to sell, they would consult us or a couple other banks, and we pitch off against them. And if we win it, we're the ones that's in charge of selling them, and we get a flat fee for what they sell for, and that's how it works.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. It's almost like you're being a real estate agent, but like it's for companies instead.
Sort of, yeah.
If you compete for them, I guess
at a high level,
that's what it starts to feel like. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so is there maybe any interesting lessons you have then learned from doing this? Like at least when it comes to
I think never say no. Work hard. Like if someone tells you to do something you don't know how to do, obviously you're allowed to ask questions, but my rule is always try for at least a couple hours before you ask questions. Like try to figure it out yourself, because figuring stuff out yourself is going to make you learn way more than just asking questions and learning it from someone else. And if you have to do that, that's fine. And the other thing is just be kind to everybody, because I think in competitive industries such as mine or real estate or politics here too, a lot of people work here in politics. I think the way you treat people is very important, because at the end of the day, a lot of times, like it's not always how good you are at your job, but it's also how much people enjoy being around you. If you bring a good energy and you're affectionate and people enjoy like being in a room with you, I think that's important as well. And just being able to joke and have fun. So,
and I don't even, based on like a lot of salespeople I've talked to, same kind of vibe anyway. It's like if people already kind of like dealing with you and being around you, like you're always going to be able to kind of do well. Of course, you want to be good at your job. If you're horrible, you fuck. Like if you're good, then it's always
you got to be good for sure. But I think it's a combination. Like everyone says, it's who you know, not what you know. It's both. Like it's a combination of, like when you're in a real job, like with your actual job, right? It's not who you know, because you're going to meet these people anyway.
Did that help you in finance and for getting your job as
well? Honestly, I didn't know anyone that worked in my company. I just went to an event at my school. So I think that my school
Where'd you go?
helped. I went to University of Virginia.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay, bet.
Yep. So, yeah, man.
Okay, bet. Okay, so shifting politics a little bit. I know I didn't want to drag it too long.
No,
you had to drag it a little bit. Okay, cool. Okay, so Trump admin, we a fan, not a fan? How do we kind of feel about it?
I honestly try to stay out of politics for the most part. I think I have my own beliefs, and I think the hardest part about what's going on right now in the world and how divided we are is it's very hard to convince someone else what you believe. And
it's good.
Like once you believe something, it's very hard for someone else to convince you otherwise. So yeah.
Okay. But I'd actually kind of say to that a little bit. I want to hear like your opinion on it. What I would attest to when it comes to like convincing somebody of something that you believe.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, whatever, depending on whatever political aisle that you're kind of on, like you shouldn't even almost be trying to convince someone. I think what is more important is like
understanding.
Yeah. What I would even say is more important. If you already know what your belief is, or you already know what your belief is, if two people kind of come together and have discussions, which I've had like a couple already kind of out here. I've been out here for maybe like 7 weeks. Yeah. Like I'm more concerned with, hey, if somebody's watching this conversation, they're able to form their beliefs, because we're not gonna like change our beliefs. Like people only change when they want to change.
At least be able to understand something. Right?
No, exactly. And I think when you're able to like just even have a conversation about it, I think that's kind of always been the best thing. Because at least when I was younger, maybe like I would be in that position where I want you to agree with me. Like I want you, like, no, this is the right shit, yo. Like, but I think at least now more that I've seen it like kind of trying to understand. But at least for you, you said you haven't really been in politics like that.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I have my own beliefs, but I don't ever question anybody else's, because I think that, like I said, it's.
Can I ask what your beliefs are? I'm curious.
Depends on like.
It depends on the thing.
Like, okay, depends on the thing. Yeah, I'm not one like.
Oh, it's not like kind of. It's like, okay, depending on the issues. Okay, I mean, I guess the biggest one right now, if you want to talk about it, is immigration. How do you feel about immigration?
Oh man.
There's a lot of shit there.
I mean, I also understand that I'm talking to the public right now as well. No, that's fine. Yeah, I think that it's tough, because I want to say that I don't support illegal immigration, but I also don't know enough about how hard the legal immigration policy is for people that have the right record coming from somewhere. Like if you're from Guatemala, right, and you want to immigrate here, my stance would be, if you're illegal, don't do it. But I also don't know how hard it is for you coming from Guatemala to have to go through that legal process of it. And so I'm like, this is what I say when I'm like in the middle and I understand both sides, is like, yes, we should not have illegal immigrants. There are bad people that come here, but also not every illegal immigrant is bad. And also a lot of them come here because they have no other choice and because they have to make a choice for the family or for this or that. I really don't think any political issue is black and white at all. I think there's all different perspectives to both. So
at least based off what I've seen, and then we'll just end off because I don't want to obviously go in because it gets deep. I'll be real fast. It's cold out here. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so at least what I'll see in at least agreement from what I've seen. So at least from an illegal standpoint, I'm like, no, fuck no. To me, it's like invader, like illegal. You're coming here, like, bro, you invaded, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Well, there ain't no other way. If I walked in your house, if I walked up in your apartment with you, and like, hey, bro, I'm trying to get in here. I'm like, no, I want to be in here. It's
I'm pro secure border. I'm pro secure border.
You just kind of see,
but I also understand that like there's some, it's hard.
Like, and I'd actually agree with that part. And I think for me, when it even comes to immigration, it's like, I want to even make sure our process is good. And the primary reason why I believe our process can't be good is because we allow too many people to kind of come in here for no reason.
No, I agree. That's not acceptable.
Yeah. So if we fix that kind of part, then I believe that it could be better. But like, if you allow a bunch of people in here illegally and then you want the legal system to be good, it's like, bro, we're fighting two different wars. Yeah. But I like that a lot, man. Yeah. What was your name again? Will, thank you so much, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, man. Yep. Have a great one. And stay warm, of course, too, bro. Yeah, man. It's cold out here. Try to make it quick. Like maybe 5 minutes, 4, 5, 10, 11, 16. We'll see. Maybe we enjoy the conversation. Who knows? Okay, man. What's your name?
Henry.
Nice to meet you, Henry. I am Ali. Okay. So, as I said, for Young American Man podcast, so careers and politics a little bit. So, first, I'm going to ask, you live in D.C., man?
Yes.
Okay, cool. How long have you lived in D.C.?
About a year, but I grew up in the suburbs.
Of like Maryland, or DC suburbs or Maryland?
Virginia.
Okay, Virginia. Okay, got you. Okay, so you've been here for a year. Do you enjoy the city, like the city, hate the city?
I like the city. It's grown on me.
Yeah, go ahead.
The food's a lot better than I expected.
The food. So so I've lived in Olney, Silver Spring my entire life, basically. But I've only started to come DC a lot more like as I've started to reach my 20s. So at least food, you said the food's good down here. What's a good food place that I should try?
So I was just at Lupo Verde. It was a little overpriced, but it was really good.
What'd you get from there?
I had like a pasta with a wild boar ragu.
Okay, we're gonna try that. We're gonna try that. Anyway, man, I appreciate that, man. That's what I'm asking. That's selfish reasons, guys. My bad. Anyway, okay. So being here for a year, what is the current career that you're in down here in DC?
I work for a law firm. I'm a researcher.
Interesting. Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. What does that kind of look like from a law firm perspective? Are you researching? I mean, I wouldn't want to say are you researching law, but like, what are you researching basically?
I research facts about companies before litigation.
Okay, I got you. So, so for example, like, I don't know, let's say FedEx, for example, like what is the kind of research you would do on FedEx for litigation, basically? For an example, that's a good example.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It could be like if their website is like taking people's private data. It could be if they're like have an agreement with a competitor not to hire one another's employees.
Oh, okay.
It could take a bunch of different forms.
So it's almost like if the company gets into legal trouble, it's like, bro, you said you weren't going to hire here, but you did. Like that kind of like basically you do that work on research on different companies to make sure if they end up getting in some legal issue, like there's the information kind of right there, or maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's more to see who's doing bad things and then potentially sue them.
Oh, okay, I got you. So it's more like you hunting them.
It's like
you looking for. We're not looking for no problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what I'd ask is, what are maybe some interesting lessons you have now learned from this? I know I guess it's only been a year that you've been doing this, right?
No, I've been doing it for 3 years. I was remote before I came to DC.
Okay, got you. Yeah. So what are maybe some interesting lessons you've learned over these 3 years?
I mean, I had a hard time knowing what lawyers found interesting because they have a different way of thinking about the world. It's logical, but in a way that's like focused on the law and on like theoretical aspects of the law that I didn't fully understand before I started working for the firm, and I think without a legal education don't fully understand. But it's like what I've learned. I mean, I've learned sort of how to evaluate a company if they're a good target for litigation, or if
You can see them doing some. Nah, you ain't supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, but also like you don't want to sue a company that's going to go bankrupt because then no one gets any money. It's bad for the company. It's bad for the people suing.
Yeah, because I forget it's a business kind of. That's true.
Yeah, and like these, like in some ways, like the law is set up to make it easier for companies when they're sued, because like they can create entities like classes of people that don't exist outside of like the theoretical and are hard to identify, but are identified or created by the courts to then pursue during litigation.
Okay, got you. Okay, no, that's actually really cool. You mentioned the logic thing, and then we'll end off here before we shift the politics a little bit. So the logic thing that I'm curious about, when you say that like they think more logical, what do you kind of mean by that, if you can describe it?
Yeah, I would say that they think more like the things that lawyers find interesting about companies or about issues is not what I like as a college student and then like as a young professional like found interesting. For example, like when people were looking at a company like, oh, what is this company doing wrong? Like I was approaching it as like a college student from an ethical perspective. And
like who are they hurting? Like in terms of a person, maybe they're thinking about like, hey, I guess they're thinking maybe more about the finances, or maybe I'm wrong.
No, not necessarily. It's more like say there's a dog food company, right? Sure. And the dog food company is like selling really bad dog food.
Yeah, just horrible for dogs.
And it's killing the dogs, and it's terrible. Mm-hmm. Like I would think like, oh, that's terrible for the dogs, it's terrible for the people. But like a lawyer some of them would think about it more along the lines of like, what is like the law that they're violating?
Oh,
not just what is the issue, but what is the theory and what is the law that they're violating, and can they be sued for that? Yeah. And how can they be sued for that? And then if they're sued for that, like
what's the finances going to look like?
Could we actually get money from that? And would our clients get money? And what would be a fair amount of money for the clients? And things along those lines.
Okay, that's so cool. So like for you, you're like, man, the dog, and they're like, wait, okay. So how the dog getting hurt? What part of the body of the dog getting hurt? Oh,
in the dog's owner. Like you're thinking about the dog and like, oh, it sucks if your dog dies, which is true.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily matter. You have to think about like the implications of like in
the whole thing that leads. So it's almost like everything that leads up to the dog getting hurt is almost like what they're thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the actions of the company, what they've said before. If they're like, we promise no dogs will die.
Okay. Yeah,
and then it's like clearly they lied.
You could be liable based off that. Yeah. Okay. That's really awesome. Very, very cool stuff. Okay. So shifting politics a little bit. Okay. Trump admin got it in right now. How do you feel about it? Like it, hate it? Maybe there's some things you like, don't like, just whatever you want to say.
The Trump administration?
Yeah.
Do not like it.
At all?
At all.
Not even one thing?
No.
Okay. Completely. Okay, at least what I'd ask them, what is one of the biggest things that you hate? I'll tell you my positions on stuff too.
I mean, I think it's a deep shift towards and into fascism in this country.
Heard that a lot.
I think it's the use of power and perceived legitimacy to go around norms that should have been laws. To pursue personal, corrupt, and independent means. And I think that it is generally a regime that seeks to enrich itself at the expense of the people in the country and uses the language of solidarity to enrich themselves.
Okay. So first thing I actually want to ask about, and obviously with politics, it can get into a long thing, and I don't want to hold you too long. I just want to discuss the fascism thing first. Okay, or mainly. So when you say fascist, like what does that mean to you? Because I think everybody uses the word kind of differently.
Absolutely.
Like at least in my
overused.
Yeah,
yes.
Because in my opinion, when I see like, oh, he's a fascist, I'm like, guys, let's be real. Like, is he really acting authoritarian? Is he really? Maybe sure you can be looking at things and be like, well, I think he's overstepping his bounds here. Well, I'm like, well, even if you just feel like he's doing something, is he doing something? Like we have to be, be concrete with this. But first, I want to hear your definition, and we can talk.
Yeah. So first, I'd say I agree that fascism is overused as a term and can be overapplied. I think it's also misunderstood as a term.
I think it's even just dangerous to just say that about people in general. If it's not actually true,
I mean, I suppose, but I think also what people like when people hear fascist, they think Nazi, and Nazi is just one type of fascism. I think sometimes it's easier to analyze fascism through the lens of like Italy and early fascism,
where Mussolini,
exactly. And great series by Mussolini just came out that really has a lot of parallels to our current political conversation.
I've been studying, it's great stuff to study.
Yeah, and when I would say fascism, I would say an ideology of power that tries to join corporatist interests with the interests of the state and tries to use the state power for personal enrichment and to stay in power. And also, and I don't know if this is an ideological aspect of fascism or just a characteristic of fascist states, has a strong degree of invading on personal autonomy. Okay. I mean,
I mean, at least from the personal liberty standpoint, yes. So this is what I would kind of say though, is my thing with this is okay, even in some situations where we'll say, okay, invading on personal liberties here or certain rights are being impeded on, I guess that's mainly around ICE and immigration currently right now. I guess that's the main way that I guess most people are seeing, and other ways too, I guess.
Yeah, or abortion or lots of other issues. It's using the ideology of power to talk down to people and to infiltrate their personal lives. And I think ICE is the most obvious example and the most egregious example. But even the strikes against alleged Venezuelan drug boats in the Caribbean,
okay. This is what I would say about those kind of certain situations, because as long as at least from a policy standpoint, what I see if the people still have a say in this, because on the other end of the ideological spectrum, people are looking at this. I'm well, this is fine. I actually voted for this. I wanted this to happen. So in a way, I would kind of say if people on one side, people are okay, I don't want this at all. On another side, people are I want this. Well, I don't really think this would be a fascist regime or even really be pushing towards one. Because to me, it only really starts, at least based on the definition I've looked at, it only starts to be a fascist government like that when the people no longer have a say in what is going on. But in the things that he's directly doing, the people have always had a say. There's no he's not impeded. There's nothing that he is doing that he's not within authority to do, is my point. And if he was doing that, then sure, you could start saying, okay, yes, this is fascism. But if it's just well, I feel like he's impeding on certain things, then it's well, that's not really a pull towards it. It's more I don't like this certain behavior that he's partaking in. And that's why I'm calling it this. This feels like it's a push towards this. I've never seen a president do this much, and it bothers me. So that's my position.
I mean, I would say there are a lot of things that are being done that the authority isn't necessarily there for.
You have an example?
Yeah. So, I mean, in some ways, the paying of the troops during the government shutdown, probably good they're getting paid, but that wasn't necessarily something that they were supposed to do because there's no money in the government.
Yeah.
There's also...
But if it's personally funded, that'd be okay. So
what do you mean personally funded?
Meaning for example, a big one that's currently going on right now is the White House. So you know how the White House for the ballroom is currently going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, everyone thinks, oh, it's the taxpayers that are paying for this. When no, Trump is actually paying for the White House himself through personal donors and his own funds to do that. So not for a lot of these different things, it's not everything is just the taxpayer paying for it. It's well, no, a lot of these things are getting paid out of his own pocket, actually.
Right. But there are also laws about who you can take money from and who you're supposed to get money from.
And, which is true.
For and some of them may be ethical issues as opposed to legal issues. But you also you also look at legal issues like the dismissal of many federal workers that are getting overturned in courts. These extra legal settlements with universities that the universities just don't fight, and then they agree with the administration. These law firms.
There's some university stuff that I kind of have.
These law firms that are being sued by the Trump administration and then settling, even though they know that what is being done is illegal, and they can't take away their access and their ability to practice without legal process. Also, American citizens and many other people being detained and deported without true due process.
Okay,
which is like objectively required in the Constitution.
Yeah, once again, this is kind of like where I'm seeing, at least from a fascist standpoint, because we could kind of go pull into like one by one, like having the conversations about all these different things. I just don't want to like have you sit here for a very long time. Sure. So at least what I would say, at least when I look like from a fascist perspective, and I'll let you say yours, and then we can end out. What I see it is like, unless he's doing things, because of course we could be like, okay, this is illegal, that's illegal, but then even that in itself needs due process. So it's like the fact that we'd even have to go through due process for that, to me, already shows like, guys, this isn't a fascist government. He's doing a lot of things that are getting a lot of reactions out of people, and I would say that's kind of like the way he kind of is. He says things crassly and whatever. It makes it seem like he's overstepping his bounds, but when you really kind of look at the facts of the situation, it's like, no, he's kind of just doing things he's doing things that he claims he's going to do to certain degrees. Sure, some of the stuff he could be doing is questionable. You're like, okay, why is he doing this? Blah, 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 blah. I think this is impeding something, but it is. It's never blatant. It's never, I force you to do things and nobody can question me. Nobody can complain. Nobody can be like, he should go to jail or whatever. And I think when you start actually censoring like people's speech, preventing them from doing certain things, and then also using military enforcement to do certain things, that's where I think, okay, now we can start getting in the fascism territory, but I don't think this government is authoritarian at all. So I'll let you end off.
I mean, I would say one, like fascism isn't only when the people disagree. Fascist regimes can be very politically popular. That doesn't mean that they're not fascistic.
No, sure.
Fascistic is just the over application of an ideology of power. And I mean, there are many things like the National Guard being deployed here to DC, like the extrajudicial killings of people on boats in the Caribbean, with no evidence being provided for any aspect of what they're doing and no legal justification for the military strikes, and the crackdown on pro-Palestinian protesters in universities especially, but elsewhere as well, and the overall sort of obfuscation of responsibility and dismissal of federal workers and loss of people's rights across the country.
I appreciate it. I mean, obviously there'll be some things I disagree with there, but I don't want to hold you too long. But I appreciate it. Honestly, I just enjoy these conversations. That's why I like having them and talking to them. I think it's important for guys to be able to listen to as well, man. So what's your name again, man?
Henry,
thank you so much, man. I appreciate the conversation. Yeah. Hopefully I didn't make you too cold, man, after you sit here, bro.
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. I fucked up myself, bro.
You gotta layer up, man.
And now facts. I got another hood, but I didn't feel like putting it on. I feel like I just like this. It's like the fit, I guess. I don't know.
It's a good fit.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. Anyway, all right. Let's see, man. What's your name?
Joe.
Joe. Nice to meet you, Joe.
What's your name?
I'm Ali. Yep. Okay, so this is the 4 Young American Men podcast. So basically, I'm talking to people from different walks of life about career and politics. That cool?
That's cool.
I bet. Let's make it happen. Okay, so first thing I want to ask, do you live in DC, man?
I do.
Okay. How long have you lived out here?
I've lived in the district for about a year. I've lived in the DMV for 20 years.
Okay, got you. Oh, I see you have a little bit of accent too. Can I ask where you're from too?
Yeah, so I am American now, but I'm from Australia originally.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, good American. Wait, did you just recently become an American?
Like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, bad. Actually, okay, no, this is perfect because I actually want to ask you kind of about that. Okay, so you said DMV for 12 years, and then what did you say before?
20 years.
20 years DMV. Okay,
and then Australia.
Okay, Australia. Oh yeah, okay, makes complete sense. The accent is cool, man. I don't be hearing it regular. I'm like, damn, that's kind of hard. Okay, so you do live in you don't wait. You do live in DC or you don't?
Yeah.
Okay, you do. Okay, so what is the work you currently do in DC?
I'm a private music teacher.
Okay, whoa, interesting. I've not heard that before. Okay, so what is the music that you teach for?
It's for lots of stuff. So I teach classical, I teach jazz, I teach pop, I teach rock.
Gotcha.
It's mostly catered to what my students want to do or what their parents want to do.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of kids.
Okay. So, younger guys. Okay. So, at least from teaching music, first I want to ask, like, is there any music that you're personally interested in yourself, and that's what like has led to this, or like what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, I mean, I got really into jazz growing up. Played at some jazz clubs here in DC.
Cool.
And that kind of is what got me good enough to get into music college, and then that gave me the expertise to be able to teach.
Can I ask about the music college you went to?
Yeah, I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Okay, you're the Berklee College. Okay, cool. I mean, I haven't personally heard of it before. I don't know why I made it seem like that, but okay, cool. Because I've never like heard about like going to a music college, so that's at least interesting to me. Okay, so for at least jazz, I'm guessing you teach the kids jazz as well.
Yeah, some of them.
Okay, cool. So at least doing music, or at least jazz specifically, what are maybe some interesting lessons you've learned about being a musician, or actually even more importantly, about teaching young kids about music?
I think just throwing yourself into stuff. I get the kids improvising as quick as possible. Like first lesson, if I can, if they have the sort of skills for that, because I think it gets you more in touch with your emotions and like the feeling side of music.
Yeah, because that's what really, you know what I'm saying? That's what make it flow, right?
That's what it's all about. Yeah. And even if I teach classical kids, we work on like how to put your emotion into the music.
Gotcha. So at least based off of instruments, I know. Okay, so I'm guessing there's a set of instruments. I'm learning a little bit too, trying to teach that too. Okay, so I know sax for sure, man. I gotta know the sax. That's right, correct? Sax.
Yeah, saxophone. Yeah.
Okay, what is the other one? Wait, nah, that's probably not jazz. Is the harp jazz? Is that jazz?
You can do jazz harp. It's out there.
Why are we making it happen, bro? I didn't even know that. Okay, so jazz harp, we got saxophone. I mean, just let me know. Any other instruments that are primarily jazz?
Okay, primarily jazz. You're going to have saxophone, trumpet, trombone. Those are your main horns. And then you got to have drums, bass. I play upright bass. And then piano and guitar.
Yeah, you look like a bass player. I go like
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I get that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so do you have a personal? So you play bass, so I'm guessing bass is your favorite, yeah?
Yeah. I've been getting a lot more into guitar, but yeah, bass is my favorite. What I'm best at.
All right. So at least if a guy wants to get into music or start out in music, as you said, they should kind of just jump into it. So I want to ask lastly about the emotional side, and we'll shift to politics a little bit here. So for the emotional side of getting into music, like what does that kind of look like, or how would you kind of like describe that?
So I would say you have to experience music first. You have to experience music, and because it is like it's an absolute art form. It's not representative of anything. It's literally just this thing you experience. So listen to music first. Think about the emotions that it makes you feel, and then you flip it around and say, okay, how can I make music that makes people feel those emotions?
Okay, cool. Very interesting way to kind of think about it. Because to me, I've never been interested in music like that. I played the trumpet in like 4th grade. I was pretty trash. So now I'm like, man, I'm fuck with this. Like,
it's a hard instrument. Trumpet is really difficult.
Yeah, because they were like testing me and stuff, and I was just like blowing on it. I'm like, being loud is good, but anyway, it's a harder thing. But nah, I appreciate that. Okay, so politics a little bit. So you said you just became an American citizen. So what I actually really want to ask, because usually I just ask about the Trump admin, how people feel about it, but I actually want to ask about the legal immigration process, if you can tell me a little bit about it. So like, what does that kind of look like? Because people like don't know, because I was talking to another guy before of like the legal immigration process is hard, not hard. Like, how would you describe the process? Do you feel like it was very difficult, overly difficult, or is it like if you're willing to grind through it, you can make it happen?
It's very much based on where you're coming from. So there are quotas for countries to become a citizen.
Yeah.
Or not quotas, but like there's sort of waiting lists. So the waiting list for Australians is really short. Like they will kind of fast track you to citizenship if you're from Australia.
You know if there's a reason for that exactly, or you just see that?
I don't know. That's what I've heard from like other people who have done it. And like,
Cool.
you know, if you're from India or Guatemala, that you're going to be waiting a lot longer. Okay. I was privileged enough. My parents made good money, so they could hire lawyers. So it's if you have money and you're from like a preferred country, the lawyer will handle it for you. You probably can do it yourself, but and there are foundations out there that'll say like, okay, we'll help you with your immigration law stuff.
Yeah.
So it is like I would say a racist classist system, because Australia is a mostly white country.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the countries that have the short list and the countries that have the long list, it's going to be white short list, black, brown, Asian long list.
Yeah. And you even mentioned that it was Indian and Guatemala in particular that it's really long, yeah? Or you just like off the dome?
Off the dome guessing, yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay, so but like at least for you, it was a lot faster. So at least for the process itself, what would kind of be the things that you would have to do? Is it like, okay, you'd have to do this particular thing, you have to stay here or do this work, or like, what is? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the usual path to citizenship is you get here legally somehow.
Yeah.
I was a work dependent, so my family worked here. They had a work visa. I had that as a kid.
Gotcha.
You got to do that for a bit just to get your foot in the door. Then you apply for a green card, so that's permanent residency without the benefits of citizenship. I had that for a long time. And then once you have that for a while, then you can apply for citizenship.
Okay. And that's pretty much what you did. Like, that's like your entire process. Okay. So at least for you, as you were saying, that from when you're coming from Australia, it's a lot easier. But like when you got your foot in the door, you just kind of knew it was like, okay, this is the marathon. This is kind of what I got to do. And that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. And this all happened within what was it? Your span, like
I think 16 or 18 years.
16 to 18 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So like almost you would say for maybe the countries that are not preferred, because as you said, Australia is not preferred. Yeah, for other guys.
It is preferred. It is.
Oh no, for Australia being preferred, for the countries that are not preferred, like, okay, well, India and Guatemala was just an example. We like, yeah, I was all that kind of stuff up later, but like for them, it could be like up to like 20, 25, 30, yeah?
Yeah, I've heard, 10, 15 years. Yeah, people wait a really long time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But other than that, because as you did say, it was like, okay, there's some classism there, there's some racism there, but I guess maybe from just a straight standpoint, would you say the process is like fair? I know you did say it was already classist and racist, but is there any degrees of it that are fair, or do you feel like are justified? And then we can end off there because I don't want to hold you too long.
Yeah, I think I can't speak too much on it.
Yeah,
I think I think it is fair where like if you come besides the quota, the list, which I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think it is fair. Like you come here, you work, you don't commit crimes. That is it. But the hard part is coming here and getting legal.
Even stepping it, like, because you had like kind of the good visa situation going on.
Yeah. So getting your foot in the door, that's the hard part, and that's why I think so many people are coming here
just
illegally, right?
Yeah.
But then they come here and then they work hard and they don't commit crimes pretty much like 99% of the time. So I can't blame them.
Okay, cool. All right, man. I really appreciate that. What's your name again?
Joe,
thank you so much. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Let's talk, bro. I'll try to keep it fast.
Talking about politics.
I mean, we could get right to
Career?
that.
No, I want career. Honestly.
Yeah, that, bro. So first, bro, what's your name?
My name's Abdelatif.
Adelatif?
Abdelatif.
Adelatif.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's up? I'm from Nigeria, Cameroon. I'm Ali.
Ali?
Yeah, Ali. Hey, bro. Bro. Anyway, look. Okay, cool. Okay, so first I want to ask, do you live in DC, man?
I do not, but I live outside of DC, like 20 minutes out.
Okay, got you. So like almost like Maryland, or is that Virginia?
That's like, Virginia, Ruston. You know
okay,
where that is? Yeah.
Nah, I never heard of that. I ain't gonna lie. No. But I live out in like Silver Spring, so like I've been coming to DC more, doing shit like this. So like,
So I'm the opposite side, basically. Yeah.
Okay, word. Okay, so I'm guessing there's some work that you do. So can I hear a little bit about that? What's your career, man?
I'm unemployed.
Oh, you unemployed right now?
Yes, sir. I actually want to talk about that.
Okay, so what your experience has been like with that? I'm guessing.
Experience being liked unemployed and how we feel about the unemployed in general.
How do you feel about being unemployed?
Terrible. Terrible. Being unemployed is horrendous.
Nah, yeah, I bet.
But
what?
How do we feel about paying for the unemployed?
Paying for the unemployed?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Some of your money comes to me, basically.
Oh, so I'm paying for your unemployment.
Exactly. You're paying for me to find jobs.
Okay. So is there like kind of like maybe a position that you have around that at all, or like what are you like? Why are you asking that in particular?
I don't think I agree with that. I don't think I agree with taxes going to the unemployed.
Yeah, you think that you should be in a position where you go find your own.
As someone that's unemployed, I don't think you should be paying for other people that are unemployed.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. I think this is kind of what I would say. As long as you're in a position where you are taking advantage of the opportunity you do have, because like obviously things happen, you lose your job. If you lose your job, things happen. Okay, fine, but it's like I only want to help people that are trying not to drown. Does that make sense? It's almost like if you're in a position where you're trying to look for a job, okay, you're in between, fine.
And that's the situation that we have now, but I don't even think that we should even have that in the first place. Yeah. I don't know, you trying to drown or not. I just think that find a job or not, I don't think anybody should be helping you. Just go find a job. And that's coming from someone that doesn't have one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just go find a job.
How has that process actually been for you? Actually, too?
It's actually been very easy, and I think anyone can do it, which is also, I think, what an issue is.
You start to realize that a lot of people are complaining for no fucking reason, right?
100%.
Yeah, and it's funny, and it's actually even really funny that you say that.
100%.
And it's really funny you can say. I mean, we're shifting into politics at this point anyway.
100%.
So, and actually, I think it's really funny that you say that because a lot of times for a lot of these programs, you know, it's funny because of the government shutdown, like SNAP's about to go away, EBT's about to go away, a lot of this shit.
Yeah, that's how I lost my job. Yeah, that's how I lost my job.
Oh, so you work okay, yeah. But you even starting to realize, like, maybe it's even good that this kind of happened to you in a way because you kind of realize, like, wait. A lot of heads are kind of complaining about some shit for no fucking reason.
No fucking reason.
I'm like, bro, why can't you just go work?
Reason.
Yeah, like
just go find a job. It's taking me a minute, but just go find a job, bro.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
And it's like it's even more annoying too because that money could be used in ways that could better benefit even American citizens that work.
Need it, bro. Yeah. That need it, bro. Yeah. There are many people that don't need the money that we're giving to them that are taking it.
Nah.
Way too many people.
No, I believe it. I think, and it just makes it really annoying because then it makes you want to vote in ways where you're like, bro, I don't really fuck with this shit. And even in particular, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of black people are the ones taking advantage of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. No, I have to be lying because niggas, bro, they be really begging for that shit. And a lot of people complaining about the SNAP, EBT.
I think it's a lot of immigrants, not even just black people, just immigrants.
Yeah, in general, bro. And it makes it annoying for all the American citizens that are kind of here. It's like, bro, why? If I'm American, I'm born American, I'm doing the shit that I need to do here. Why should I be kind of sitting here and paying for your ass
I think
to like do work?
It's putting a bad name on like us, like you're a black person talking about how black people taking advantage. I'm an immigrant talking about how immigrants.
Yeah, fuck y'all niggas, bro.
It's just putting a bad name on us. I'm not gonna lie.
No, they're serious. But at least because I obviously don't want to hold you too long here. But what I would say is, I think we should be in a situation where if we're gonna give people opportunities or whatever, I think they
need to deserve it. I think they need to deserve it.
Thank you. And
show that you need to deserve it.
Yeah, because
show that you appreciate the opportunity that you're given, and that you have the ability to take the opportunity given to you and do something with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
If not, we're just kind of bullshitting. We're giving people kind of money for free, and then the people who actually do the good work and whatever. And it's like it's just even better to hear this from you as an unemployed person. Like y'all niggas is broke, y'all niggas is bums, y'all need to get a job.
Find a job. Go find a job. Go find a job.
No, so definitely for sure I can agree with that.
Yes,
100%.
sir.
No, I appreciate the conversation, bro. What's your name again?
Delatif.
Thank you, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, I like the grind. I like the hustle,
Ali,
bro.
Right?
Yeah, Ali, man.
Ali.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Well, I mean,
Let's talk about it.
But what's
Let's
the
talk about it.
Because okay, do you think Trump's racist?
Yeah.
Why do you think he's racist? What makes him racist? Let's do something better.
Let's break it down.
Let's define
break it down.
racism. What is racism to you?
To me, racism is calling out a different ethnicity and calling them out on something different that they stand for.
Okay. Example. So if I see a black person doing something and I say this black person is doing a particular thing, whatever it is, am I racist?
No.
Okay. So I become racist if I dislike black people, yes. So if I don't like a black person, then am I racist? If I say because you're black, I don't like you, am I racist? Yes.
No.
I'm not racist if I say because you're black, I don't like you.
No.
I mean, that's me discriminating against you based on your race.
It's not discriminating. Because
if I say I don't like you because you're black.
Discrimination goes as far as not liking you based off the color of your skin.
Thank you.
So, therefore, black people have shown us time and time again that the reason why we cannot trust them or trust what they do is based off their actions.
Exactly. So
therefore, if I sat here and said, you know what, fuck black people, fuck black people. That's, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's based off their actions, not based off what they do.
True. So that's what I'm saying. When you say Trump is racist, how do you know if he's talking about skin or behavior?
Because regardless of that, regardless of them talking about
I can refer to somebody's race and not be racist.
Regardless of them talking about black people, he specifically separates black people from white people, and he specifically separates black people from Mexicans, and he specifically separates the black people, the thugs, from other people. And at the end of the day, here's the thing, right?
Come on, honey. We're done. We're done.
We're gonna separate.
We're done.
And look,
I ain't gonna finish. What I gonna say?
hold on. As long as we gotta say,
separation gonna keep us divided.
What, no, yeah, that's the point of it.
As long as we stay together, he can't never divide us. So let's stay together.
I bet. All right. All right. Have a good one. I lost brain cells, bro. And off here. Fan podcast back out here again. Decent conversations tonight. Enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? As always, let me know. Any questions you guys want me to ask more of, less of, whatever I can do to make this shit better, because I want you guys to improve, learn from people out here, have better conversations, better quality conversations, so you guys can learn more and just enjoy the vibes. So with that being said, I'll be back out here again tomorrow for another podcast, talking to the good people here out here in DC, and we'll keep enjoying the vibes, man. So yeah, I'll catch y'all. Deuces, like and subscribe.